Chapter 4. Marci's fork grazed her bottom teeth as she took another tentative bite of her plank-grilled salmon, producing an irritating noise in the dead silence of the kitchen. As they had for the 3 preceding years, Marci and Bill dutifully had dinner with Jim and Alice Sanders at least once a month. The couples really had no more in common than geography, lack of interests, wall color, and age. Therefore, after talking gardens, neighborhood watch transgressions, and local economy, these dinners inevitably descended into dreadfully dull, awkward silence. "This salmon is wonderful, Marci," Alice offered quietly. "You'll have to tell me how you prepared it." Alice Sanders hated salmon. And yet, self-flagellation so often goes unnoticed in the suburbs. Marci smiled, flattered by the compliment, and opened her mouth to reply, but was interrupted by a booming, pealing ripple of bells from the dining room as the new clock made its presence known. Bill slapped his palms onto the table, muttering, "Now how do you like that? Goddamn clock just goes off whenever it feels like it." He rose to silence it. The clock he had been so excited to bring home had, in the course of mere days, become a constant irritant. Neither he nor Marci could figure out how to set it correctly, and it had been tolling the hours at very strange times since. Jim and Alice perked up at this introduction to their solemn dinner. Jim stood with Bill. "Maybe I could take a look at it, Bill. You know I'm a bit of a tinkerer. I'm sure I've mentioned I've been rebuilding that '69 Jaguar in my garage." He strode into the dining room a step behind Bill, catching his breath when he spied the magnificent clock. Whistling through his teeth, he admitted, "Wow, Bill, what a beauty." Bill suppressed a self-satisfied smile, wincing as Jim reached out to touch one of the dials embedded in the face of the clock. He pushed Jim's hand aside. "Jim, that's okay. I can figure this out myself. I just need to futz with it. I'm sure I'll be able to set it properly on my second try." Jim's face fell as he stepped away from the clanging clock, watching helplessly as Bill began to slap the sides of the clock, pointlessly adjusting all of the visible dials. "Just go on and join the ladies, will you, Jim? I'll be just a moment. Pretty sure I have got this figured out now." Jim made one last motion to reach out towards the dials of the clock as Bill waved him away, before backing regretfully from the formal dining room and re-entering the kitchen with a happy whistle. Bill, still moving the arms of the clock face to reset it, huffed under his breath. "No need to tinker, Jim, you fake fuck. I'll just get this going and..." Boom. With a flash and a whoosh, Bill disappeared completely from Earth. The 3 diners in the kitchen tilted their heads inquisitively for a moment, shrugged, and continued their conversation. Alice smiled. "So, Marci, you were telling us about the inheritance, the clock?" she inquired. Marci began to recite the sad litany of the grandfather clock, telling in hushed tones of their utter disappointment in the small pittance of an inheritance hardly worth the drive. She revealed that after his heretofore rarely mentioned distant uncle's death, the noisy clock was the only potential thing of value left, since the house and all contents therein, including Uncle Phinneus, were destroyed. Marci confided that she did feel the woodwork of it was exceptional, if not slightly creepy and gothic, and that it had been allowed in the dining room on a probationary basis. Jim and Alice, for once, seemed transfixed by Marci's story as she waxed on ineloquently for almost 10 minutes. Therefore, they all jumped when the clock chimed again, breaking the web of macabre after-dinner small talk. It was then they heard his screams. Bill was screaming as though he'd seen a ghost.